And we are recording. Okay, so I wanted to take this opportunity again to thank you for being with us today and welcome to the collaborative community. This has been something that has been on my heart for a number of years. And I didn't know really how to pull it together or to figure out like what my role was supposed to be in it um, would be, but started to feel like my life was missing art. And um, as we do this work, and this work is hard, and it's sometimes very thankless, and certainly we're passionate about it, and it fulfills a need. But I was thinking about like who pours into the spirit of the digital inclusion champion, like where's the place, the safe space for digital inclusion folks to get together outside of conferences, to connect on other things that we may have in common. And although I'm super grateful for the environment and the community that NDIA is building for us, I also saw that there wasn't like this artistic space, right? And sometimes folks stay away from the artistic space because it can get a little interesting, the interpretation of art. But I saw an opportunity to stand up something, and then this idea came to me early one morning, because I don't know about y'all, but that's like when the genius typically happens with me at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh man, can we start a little community and do something that helps to transform us as a collective, helps to enrich our communities, helps us to share and connect around many artistic disciplines. And so the collaborative community was born. And so my husband is my audience for all the ideas I come up with, and there's a lot. I come up with a lot of ideas. He's just like, girl, no. So this one, he was like, oh, because he's an artist himself, and he's like, oh, this could be something. So I got the courage to kind of move it forward, and here we are, and here all of you are. So just wanted to provide that background to give you some insight into why I called us together, and why you so graciously answered the call. So thank you again for being here today. I'm going to see if I can share my screen. Let's just see if the technical gods are going to allow me to do what I need to do here. So show all the windows. We don't want to show all the windows. We just want to show that window. And we want to share the entire screen. Okay, can y'all see my screen? Yes? No?
Yep, can now.
Okay, come on me. It worked. So let's go ahead and start it from the slideshow. So again, this is the collaborative community where creativity connects, inclusion inspires, and art unites. This is our informational webinar, and today is the 5th of March, my favorite month because spring is in March and my birthday also in March, on March 20th. So feels good to be launching something, in the spring space, if you will. So we have a little bit of an agenda today, and for whatever reason, I can't see y'all. So if anyone has anything to say, just jump in and interrupt if you have a question. Y'all be my co-drivers today in the presentation. So our agenda is what is the collaborative community, the mission and vision, why now, and why digital inclusion, our participation and benefits. We're going to talk about 2 projects that we're launching. These are our first 2 inaugural projects. I'm super happy about that. And then a call to action, and then questions and comments. But certainly, this is a conversation, so feel free to ask questions or share comments as we go throughout the presentation today. So I want to hear from y'all. Let's do some sharing out. Um, Welcome again. We're so glad to have you here with the collaborative community. Please share your preferred name and pronouns so that we can connect authentically. Tell us a bit about your artistic passions or what drives your creativity, what excites you most about joining this circle of collaboration. And share one thing you'd like to leave this meeting knowing more about. You know, we want this to be a space of openness, inspiration, and connection. So, again, tell us a bit about your artistic passion, what excites you, one thing you want to learn more about. And then anyone can go ahead and start and unmute and then popcorn into the next person.
I can kick us off if you like.
Sure, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. My name is Maribel. I'm based in Miami, and I've been a digital inclusion practitioner for 10 years now. One of the major buckets of my business is digital equity, digital inclusion, digital adoption, and enablement. But aside from that, I also have a life as a writer and an artist. So I was really happy to see how these two things could possibly come together. So I'm excited to explore what possibilities lie within the group, but also as we think about how to push all of that great stuff outward.
Awesome. Thank you, Maribel. Who are you popcorning to? I would say let's go, Victor.
Alrighty. Hey, everyone. Victor Villegas, Broadband and Digital Technologies Adoption Coordinator at Oregon State University Extension. I actually lead statewide Oregon Broadband Equity Coalition and have been involved in the digital equity space for a little bit over a year now. But my passion is K through 12 STEAM outreach and engagement, especially with underserved, underrepresented youth. I am fully bilingual, fully bicultural, Latino, and use the arts to reach kids who might not naturally gravitate towards STEM subjects and encourage multiple career pathways. So I do music, puppetry, digital media production. Online, I go as Drone Singer, the Weird Al of drones, world's #1 parody creator of parody songs about drones, and I've kind of leveraged that to do a lot of K through 12 outreach. So I love being creative and innovative, and reaching, especially youth, in ways that are more engaging, maybe. And you can reach a lot of people through the arts instead of science, technology, engineering, math. STEM is like a 4-letter word for a lot of folks in our communities, but the arts, I mean, who doesn't listen to music or do dance or watch movies? And it's a lot much more accessible and a safe space for many of us. And then I layer all of the STEM on top of not just the arts, but culture, right? So I also worked with one of the tribes doing a storytelling workshop to introduce generative AI tools. But it's really about storytelling, and we're just using Gen AI to help them tell their stories. So that's another example of type of stuff. But I'm here to connect with folks, collaborate. I love collaborating, and really excited. So thanks for setting this up. I'll popcorn it over to Erin.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Erin Lorandos. My pronouns are she, her. And I'm the Digital Equity Program Manager in the State Broadband Office here in Arizona, but I'm actually just a librarian that came to this. So I've been working in libraries for nearly 20 years. I just joined the State Broadband Office a little under a year and a half ago, basically to push our digital equity plan across the finish line, and now moving into implementation there. But I am a librarian at heart, and writer, reader, photographer, love all of that. I grew up, my dad is a professional photographer, so just a librarian. I love it. Thank you, Victor. Well, I mean, I've got the tattoo and the glasses, so like, it can't kick me out now. But, I grew up around that type of creativity, and I can't just do the same thing my dad does, right? So I've always been very interested in writing, and I love this idea in the space because writing is kind of a solitary creative venture in a lot of ways. You spend a lot of time, alone when you're writing. And so, I love the idea of being able to share out. I primarily write poetry. That's, I would say, my main mode, but I also participate in things like National Novel Writing Month, and I've got a couple of novels under my belt, two of which are based in libraries. So, that's fun. And actually, funny enough, not last year's, but the year before, I had planned on a third in that installment, and my main character, who's a librarian, was going to be involved in writing her state's digital equity plan. Needless to say, our plan was due like right at the end of National Novel Writing Month, though, so I sort of had to do real work instead of write novels that year. So in any case, I wanted to see if I'm also on the planning committee for net inclusion, because it's going to be here in Arizona this year, and we're so thrilled to have everybody coming and joining us. One of the things at the location that I would just love to see how people feel about, there's a lot of on-site hiking trails and things like that. And I thought that it would be really interesting to take this group on a little walk and, make something either from it or while we're doing it. And so I just wanted to bring that into the space too, to see if anyone would be interested. And I see explosions of icons. So that's fantastic. Let's see, what else was I supposed to do? I think I did everything. I am so happy to be here though. And thank you, Kyla, for bringing this. This is just like my jam. I love it. So I would love to popcorn it over to Bonnie.
Hello, everybody. My name is Bonnie, and I work for Fort Vancouver Regional Library District in Washington State. And I'm here more out of curiosity. I've worked in the library for 18 years, a little over 18 years. And I work mostly with adults and seniors teaching technology, which is how I ended up on the NDIA list, just kind of keeping track of things. But on the side, I also teach art classes for seniors and outreach and within the library itself. So it's twofold why I am here. Also, my pronouns are she, her. I just wanted to get some kind of information here, kind of learn what this is all about, and just join a really great inclusive community, which is really important in libraries. And again, Erin, I love libraries too. That's why I've been here so long. Grew up in the libraries. So I guess that's about all I have for now. But thank you for doing this. This is wonderful. And I'll send it over to Anita Uplifts.
Hello, everyone. Let me put my camera on. Is my camera not coming on? There it is. Hi everyone. My name is Anita Lee, and I serve as the visiting assistant director for digital equity, inclusion, and navigation for the Illinois Broadband Lab, which is part of the University of Illinois system, which provides a lot of the digital equity and programming work for Illinois State Office of Broadband. I am, let's see, I don't know what my talents are. In my other life, or in my personal life, I am a community theater stage performer. I also can hold a little tune, so I can sing. I consider myself an amateur cell phone photographer. And so it was really interesting, Erin, that you said, okay, let's take everybody on a hike. And I was like, okay, we're all gonna like take our cool pictures of cool things and bring it back and make it like a whole slideshow of our walk. I'm like, that sounds like a cool idea. And so I am very excited to see how I translate this great work that we're doing into my personal and creative life. So looking forward to learning how I can support this cool concept and figuring out what actually am I gonna do. Am I gonna sing? Am I gonna do a monologue? Am I gonna show a bunch of pictures? I don't know. We'll see, or do it all. And I will popcorn into Ariana. Have you gone? Or Gage. Now I'm gonna pop to Gage. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, I'm doing well. You know, of course, I saw art and I was like, oh, I'm going to be in that. So for people who don't know who I am Gage McAllister. I've been in the digital equity space now a little over 4 years. I didn't start there. No one ever really sets out to, but happy that I fell here. I actually started in demographic analysis for retail chains, namely Dollar Tree, Dollar General, that kind of thing. Mostly centered out of St. Louis area, just kind of helping them rework their failing stores, readjust to their actual community because they were not stocking things that made sense for the needs of the people in the communities that they put their stores in. After the pandemic, I said, not doing that anymore. That was terrible. One of my friends was a computer technician at PCs for People, got me on there, and I kind of learned and worked my way through tech there for the first 3 years. And then I left there after a restructure and ended up doing just a whole lot of stuff with a whole lot of people in the Southwestern Illinois region. I currently work as the Director of Tech Workforce at Tech STL. We're a bi-state regional 501c6 tech council. I also, in my spare time, do a lot of parade volunteering and float construction, painting. A lot of my arts are primarily pencil and paper or acrylic. I learned super early when I was a young one from my great grandmother how to paint basically Bob Ross type scenery on little rocks and bricks and every inch of the concrete outside. And that just kind of went with me as I grew. When I went into high school, I took every single art elective I could. So I have so many different mediums that now I pretty much rest my hat on mixed media art in general. So whether that's doing media production, crafting huge plywood set displays and parade floats and things, or just taking a personal request from a friend to do a really cool, huge canvas painting for their living room, or I've done some marketing stuff just here and there. I've never turned it into anything profitable because it was something that I enjoyed. So I am elated to see that you are bringing my two passionate worlds together in one way, and we're going to be able to take that on the road, and I'll be able to meet everybody here, and we'll all get to know each other and prosper in a beautiful art world. So don't know if I covered everything because I'm a jumper when I start talking sometimes, but yeah, my inspiration's just really anything. Anytime I'm able to stroke that creativity, I try to. Anytime there is a project at work that they want to pay $500 for someone to print, I'm like, have you thought about painting that instead? I will do that for free. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And then I will popcorn it to, is Ariana the last left?
Hi, I'm Ariana Fielding. I work at the Massachusetts Broadband Institute. I manage a couple of municipal grant programs, so for digital equity, like local digital equity planning, and then a direct grant program to actually like put some of those recommendations in their plans into action. But before coming here and before grad school, I did my undergrad studies in studio art and then worked at a full-time at a regional theater for a couple years as a scenic carpenter, and then did like a major shift and well, not I feel like there's connections, but went to grad school for community development and planning and ended up at the broadband office, which has been really interesting. And yeah, I don't really like practice art in like a traditional sense anymore, but still consider myself an art lover.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for sharing. This has been amazing getting to know a little bit more about you, and I'll share a little bit about myself. So Kyla Williams Tate, Director of Digital Equity here at Cook County Government. I've been doing this work for a long, long time. And prior to me doing it at the county level, did it for the city of Chicago during the BTOP days. And so helping people is my passion. I am a social worker who does technology, who just happens to also be an artist. My artistic expressions typically show up through poetry, songwriting, singing, creative writing. Back in the day, I used to dance, but a little knee injury on a triple axel ice skating situation has taken me out my game. So we just do a little bit of a sway, from time to time. But I love art. I love visual art, mixed media. Like I just really love being in the space when I am around art. If you can look to see the painting in the back on my cabinet is one of the local dance groups here in Chicago called Deeply Rooted Dance Theater. And this play and production that they did was just so awe-inspiring. I just had to have that, near me. So art is like part of, who I am. And again, starting this community as a way to create community, to connect, because sometimes it feels very lonely, trying to figure out, where to go and what to do. And, like there's art things happening in each of our communities in some way, shape, or form, but nothing that really like ties together the fact that we all are championing digital inclusion across our communities. And I think that that is something unique and special that I think, we can tap into to deepen the connection in this community and deepen our impact in the work that we do collaboratively, as well as the art that we create collaboratively as well. So that is who I am, and I'll bring us now back to our PowerPoint presentation. Let's see if it will do the thing, right? Let's see if it will do the thing and get us back where we need to be. Okay. Are we back in it?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so what is the collaborative community? A dynamic initiative designed to unite performing and visual arts focused on fostering inclusion. And performing and visual arts includes, of course, creative arts, our literate arts, arts of all disciplines. So not just of the performing nature, but certainly a piece of this community is around like sharing. And so, putting your art on display in some shape or form. So there's some performance, or presentation aspect to it. Focused on fostering inclusion, equity, and innovation within the arts, and a space for creators to connect, collaborate, and amplify their talents across digital platforms. Because we're all over the world, as evident by our introductions. And so leveraging the technology to be able to share is just so exciting for me. So being able to show someone in Chicago what's happening in Arizona or what's happening in Massachusetts or in any of the other areas, it's just super exciting, for me. And I can't wait to figure out, exactly how that's going to live on and how we share that. But that excites me for sure. So our mission and our vision, our mission is to unite artists from all backgrounds to create, innovate, and make a lasting impact. Our vision is to build a world where creativity connects people and inspires change. We believe in diversity and inclusion. They are the foundations of our powerful artistic expression, which again pulls us together as a unique group because of who we are in the digital equity, digital inclusion, digital opportunity space. So the question, why now and why artists who work in digital inclusion? Again, the world is more connected than ever. We're out here fighting for connectivity and trying to eliminate the divide and increase more access and address those gaps. We understand like what that looks like in communities when it works well and when it's not working. So being able to take all of that institutional knowledge and lived experience and pour that into artistic moments that we can share with each other and share with the world, seems really appropriate right now. Like the time to act is like right now, like harnessing our technological advancement, talking about building a more inclusive future, and, blending some of our worlds a little bit. I primarily have had to do my art a little bit separate from the work that I do. So this moment, and I heard someone else say that in their introduction, being able to bring the two things that they kind of are really passionate about together feels really awe-inspiring. And I hope that you're feeling that energy as well. So what does it look like? So a lot of folks, when you filled out your interest form, you're like, it all depends on like what's the time commitment? Like, what does this look like? What does this mean to participate? Like, I am trying to build a community where it feels effortless if it can. Like, it's not about like show up for meetings. It's not about like having such deep conversations and strategic moments around art or digital inclusion or justice or whatever you particularly are passionate about and how your art shows up, but being kind of like grassroots and simple. Like if you think about the open mics in your communities, like, or the moments where there's an art display and anyone can just come and hang art. Like I want it to feel effortless, and for us to collectively be able to showcase our talents through some projects and through some like prompts. Like, so again, creating community in a way that feels like an extension of who you already are, and some artistic opportunities to connect along the way. So we want to really, use this community as a way to collaborate on projects, which I know some have shared in their introduction, and to really showcase the talent that we have in our digital inclusion, digital champions, communities. And I like this picture of the camera because I love the photography of food. I love when folks are taking beautiful pictures. I love paintings of food, maybe because I'm always hungry and not eating enough, but I like when art shows up like that as well. So we have two projects that we are launching, and if you go to our collaborative community website, they are up on the website as of today. We have two moments, and the first one is called Open Mic, Open Site, and then the second one is called Art Speaks. So Open Mic, Open Site really is kind of a what I would call a monthly opportunity for you to share your art in whatever platform or methodology that you create your art in, and showcase it in a really intentional way. So what I am thinking is that every month we will, settle on a date and time every month, and we will theme out the month, and you would bring your particular art to the open mic, open site and share that. So if you gauge are constructing some kind of sculpture thing around the theme, you would show up on the screen. We would highlight you on the virtual screen, and you would talk and show and talk about how you created that beautiful thing that you created. If Anita, you are in a particular production or maybe a past production that aligns with the theme for the month, you may come and bring a song or bring a passage. If you are a writer, Erin, and there's something, a passage, that you're working through in one of your upcoming novels, or maybe one of your past moments that aligns with the theme, then you would, share that. So basically a very inclusive, open mic, open site opportunity for folks to share their art in whatever platform and whatever medium, aligned with the theme of the month. So we're going to kick this off starting next month. I want to talk to y'all a little bit about what y'all think is appropriate for like when this should happen. Like, is this like a midday break, for folks to kind of, break away from the mundane of their day? Or is this something that we should host, after hours, maybe, in the evening, to allow other folks who are, in different time zones to be able to participate. So I'll ask you that question in a minute. So this is our first opportunity. I will stop sharing just so that I can get a little feedback from you on if you think open mic, open site is a good idea. Feel free to unmic yourself.
I think it's a great
So-
opportunity to share. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I pretend that I always go to it. I don't always go to it, to a weekly writing thing on Tuesdays. And then the last Tuesday of the month is always like a share time. So, it's good to get the feedback and all of that. And, or just, say, hey, this is what I did this month. And I love the idea.
Great. Any other comments? So we really are, again, I just want it to be as easy as possible to engage. And I think sometimes with the art, folks need a little bit of prompting. And sometimes, for me at least, because if you've done a lot of writing or a lot of performing or done a lot of things, you forget some of the things that you've done. And so sometimes a prompt will make you say, oh my goodness, I remember that I, did a poem that talked about this, or, oh, I got to find that little owl that I, carved in, Ecuador that reminds me of this, and I'm going to show that, or whatever the case may be. So, so it's an opportunity to create something new or an opportunity to bring something that you've already done to the table. And I just think it's easy to be able to do it virtually, and we can use our technology to support that. So that is the first project that we're going to be rolling out, open mic, open site. My question to y'all is, when do we have this thing? Like, so is it like, again, is it a midday thing? Is it an evening thing? I have a lot of flexibility on when we could set it up, but I want to make sure that we're maximizing folks being able to attend and to participate. So any thoughts around, we're all busy, and if you have children and husbands and wives and or both, whatever's going on at your house, your doggies or, your pets, I just want to be cognizant of, we won't find the perfect time for everyone, but wanting to understand a little bit more about what would work for you. Does the art we share have to be connected in some way to digital equity? No. I think that if it meets the need and you want to share it around digital equity, I think that's great. But I think that we are, very dynamic and diverse people. We have a lot of different interests and passions and experiences. And so the only thing that ties us together is that we work in this space together, but your expression doesn't have to be about digital inclusion. And in fact, for me, I love the idea of being able to share other pieces of myself, things that, bring me joy or that I'm super passionate about that I don't get to say often in a digital equity space. Like right now, I do a lot of sharing on LinkedIn, do a lot of storytelling on LinkedIn, and I haven't been on in the last couple of weeks because I've been trying to get this together, and we got other stuff, that's happening, and so I just have not been as present on LinkedIn, but I'm coming back. And someone sent me a note and said, we miss you because you're teaching me how to be a digital equity inclusion person. So we need you to continue all your stuff. I'm like in school, so you need to continue to do that. But then I'm like, oh my God, I like have other things to say. Like I got other things on my heart to say. So to your question, Maribel, thank you for asking it. If it's appropriate and that if that's what you want to bring creatively that month, then absolutely. But if you want to say something else about justice, or it's Women's History Month, or something about your family or whatever, we would love to hear that. Love to experience that. Love to see that. So what type of day? Like what evening, afternoon? What are y'all feeling? What's the best thing?
So it
I think
depends
I'm
what
already-
time zone.
Yeah, I was going to say we've got like 7 represented here. So
on the West Coast, I mean, it's at 1:40 right now, so we're 3 hours behind East Coast. So,
Well, because I'm also interested if people feel like this is something that they can have as part of their work day, or if it's something that they would like to have as part of their like personal time. You know, I think that that also makes the difference as well.
I feel like you could argue that it's net inclusion planning at least until May, so it should be part of our day. Um,
Right. I would
I
second that.
I wondered too if, and you know, I'm not saying that this is a requirement because of course the connection of people being together in the same space is key, but if there was like an in-between meeting, I don't know, Slack channel or a Discord or something like that, that you know, if you miss the meeting or you have stuff throughout the month, I don't know if that's helpful at all. I use Discord a lot for other writing groups that I'm in. And, you know, sometimes it's nice to at any time be able to be like, hey guys, you know, like, let's chat through this, or I want to share this thing, or celebrate somebody got published, you know, or somebody has an art opening, right? So I don't know if that's interesting to anyone, but I was just thinking about it.
I'd like to add, I think Erin's kind of spot on. I agree with that. We are kind of spread out everywhere, and it may not always be in time with whatever's going on with our schedules. I'm pretty flexible. Mornings are usually great for me, but that's not going to do the West Coasters or even the mountain people any good, because I'm in Miami. So I'm pretty flexible. Maybe this is something where you can send out a doodle poll, when do you want to meet this month, but then also have the ability to have that flexibility to just kind of meet when it's convenient. Maybe it turns out it's a Saturday, maybe it's a Sunday, maybe it doesn't have to be a Monday through Friday thing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm flexible, but that it could also be sort of a drop-in thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that too. And I think that because we're doing this, you know, nationally and hopefully, you know, maybe even internationally, that it may happen in a couple different places to account for time. So I think as I build out the team to help to support this initiative, I think we'll be able to have some of the virtual open mics, open sites at different times too. So and thanks for the suggestion, because that is a question that I was thinking about too, is how do we stay connected to each other? And so I'm a big fan of Slack. I like Discord as well. And, you know, just being able to, again, I want to feel effortlessly. So that is, it doesn't feel like it's like a homework or an assignment. So as the creativity comes, because as y'all know, when it shows up, you can share out, you know, as you see fit. Thanks, Victor, for that.
well, just trying to, you know, what's the earliest that someone could participate if we were doing this during the week, you know, so 11 o'clock is 8 o'clock our time, 11 Eastern, and then maybe figuring out what's the latest that anybody on the East Coast would want to participate, and then just have it somewhere in between there. I mean, that's one way to kind of start off.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not available on Saturdays, some Sundays, but weekends are tough. I'm fairly flexible during the week though. So whether that's like noontime for me or a little bit later, if you're doing it like 6 o'clock in the evening, that's, you know, 3 o'clock for me. So that's not a problem.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback, and we'll take all of that into consideration. Great. Thanks, Gage, for that. Okay, let's go back to sharing my screen.
I did have a question on
Oh.
the platform. So I know you're using Google Meets right now, but my recommendation would be Zoom, because that's what most people have if you wanted to broadcast, you know, farther out other than just us. And mainly because of, if you're doing any type of like music and audio, you can turn on that, turn off the filters, right? Because right now, if I tried to play anything, it's just going to sound all garbled, but Zoom has the capability of turning raw audio on to make it sound better.
Absolutely, and thank you for bringing that. So this was just for this particular webinar. You know, I am building, you know, out the program, and so we're going to probably get a host around like maybe screencast or something that is going to be able to really premiere the artistic experience. So making it optimized for music, making it optimized for art, so that you know we can see the carvings or see the glitter, you know, whatever. It's like I really would like it to be a rich visual experience. And so I'm doing a lot of research and talking to a lot of experts. So Victor, I probably may circle back to you because I see all your equipment in the back to just make sure that I'm making good decisions around the platform and how we share out that so that and again, you know, we would record it and want to be able to share it so that we can continue to spread our message. I just wanted to visually be an engaging experience, and we want to account for language, and you know, I just want to be very inclusive and be very intentional around like how we are engaging others in this work. Oh yeah, Aaron, he's like all the things, right? All the things, like yes. And so I'm getting some volunteers to help to support me in all of this, and folks are pretty excited. And my son's like, "I'll run it for you." I'm like, okay. I'm like, yeah, you just have to remember to mute because that kid's always eating every time I turn around. We don't want any chomping in our presentation. So thanks for that feedback. I really do appreciate that. Let's see, let me do a quick time check to make sure I am doing what I need to do. Okay, and let's go back from this current slide. Okay, so then the next project that we are going to launch is what I'm calling Art Speaks. And basically, Art Speaks is just a speakers bureau for artists who are part of our digital inclusion community. I get a lot of requests for me to, you know, do poems or to show up in places and add a bit of artistic something or another to the moment. And so this is really the opportunity for us to create like a speaker bureau for the artists that are participating in the collaborative community, and be able to introduce you into other spaces where you can share your art as a featured artist. And again, I've been testing this with a couple of different places, and people are really interested in wanting to add art to their conferences, wanting to add art to their meetings and town halls and community conversations. And so this is an opportunity for the collaborative community to almost act like an art broker in a way, to introduce artists to potential places for them to share it. And I'm really excited about this second project as well. Any questions around Art Speaks? Does this sound exciting or something that y'all would be interested in participating in? Again, if you have gone to any uh, organization that does like Speakers Bureau, where they have you know, a profile, and you know, we would do something similar as we build out our website. Is that something that's interesting or something that y'all would find engaging?
Sign me up.
Awesome. I got like 6 requests right now for things that people need artists for. They're like, we want someone to open our meeting. We want someone to close our meeting, especially now because, you know, there's just a lot going on, and art has a way of uniting and, you know, setting the stage for conversation. And so I'm really excited about this piece of the work. I'm going to just go ahead and move through the rest of the presentation because we're almost done. So the call to action is simply to share that you have joined the collaborative community. I have literally like a 1 line little form that you say, yes, I want to be part of the community, and you're in there. Like simply, it is just that easy. When we announce the date for the April open mic, open site. We are hoping that you will participate and will sign up to be a participant there. We want you to consider for being added to the Art Speaks Bureau so that you can share your art and amplify your voice. Again, I am hosting a net inclusion session in Arizona in May, where we're going to be doing what we're calling like voices of digital inclusion. We're going to have a meeting around that. So if you are attending net inclusion, you should have already heard from me. If you're still considering attending and now want to attend the session or participate in the session, please let me know so we can add you to that planning call as we get ourselves together for the session. And again, tell a friend about this initiative and its mission. It's, I think, very much a relevant moment in time for us who not only do this work, but are champions in our community and are looking for a safe space for us to create and collaborate together. So invite folks to join the collaborative community, and I hope that you consider joining the collaborative community yourself. So that's the end of my presentation. Any questions or comments that I can answer for you in the interim? Maribel.
Hi, so do you have, I know you wanted to consider promotion, so do you have a logo that you can share, or is there a LinkedIn group that you're starting? How do you want us to go about promoting that kind of stuff?
Yes. So after this, you'll get this this PowerPoint presentation. You'll get the link to the form for you to commit to joining the community. And once you join the community, you'll get access to our Google Drive that has all of our logos, our press kits. And then if you are an earlier adopter into the group, if you will, you get a free t-shirt. So we will send you a free t-shirt on behalf of the collaborative community.
Excellent.
So,
Thank you.
And so you'll be able to have all of that. And so inside of the Google Drive is also a sample toolkit around sharing the messages. So we have, you know, some crafted messages that you can use that language and just kind of cut paste.
Is that also the place where we'll be able to connect with folks in the community about support for projects and stuff? So for
Absolutely.
instance, okay, great. Great.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So
my passion project right now is to give life to a manuscript that's already been reviewed and it's ready to go. It just needs illustrations. I was actually getting started on the illustrations. It is basically a digital equity story. And I'm honestly I know it's mine, but I think it's a beautiful story. And I really want to just put it out there in the world because I think it's a picture book that every library should have.
And I love that. And so part of the other portion of this, again, this is around support for artists and like if you have publishing desires, if you know want to take this and put this on a stage play somewhere, like we want to be the group that's helping to navigate that for you and being your partner in that exposure moment. So part of the volunteers that I'm recruiting on the back end are people who like just do this and just want to be helpful so that we can help you along in your dreams. I know that for me, you know, the artist space has always just been a personal one. And I've never thought about like, you know, publishing a book or, you know, putting some of this here or there. So being able to have people that maybe can come in and, you know, maybe do seminars and, you know, offer, you know, webinars to help us to think a little bit differently about how we present our art to the world, I think is part of the mission of this community is, you know.
Excellent. Because my critique group doesn't really focus on like self-publishing, for example, and this book has been shopped around and no publishing house will touch it just because they know that they can't make money off of it. I mean, it's just not going to be a big seller. And the picture book market, as you know, librarians is just saturated. So there are so many good manuscripts that don't make it out there, but these have been reviewed by literary agents. I mean, it's been like reviewed, stamped, loved. They just won't buy it.
Yeah.
So I need to just do it myself, and that's what I want to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know two self-published authors right now, and one of them is tearing up the charts on Amazon, just doing her regular connection and working that. And, we can help to amplify that, in this space because of who we are in our worlds, being able use each other to say, hey, y'all go over there and buy this book, y'all go over there and see this play, y'all go download that song on Apple Music, it's the bomb. Like, we can really be supportive to each other around each other's individual artistic moments, which I'm super excited. I want to support all. I want to know all the things. I want to do all the things. Like, I'm so super excited about this. I just stopped real hosting. Aaron, you are cracking me up.
Well, I just sent a message to all of you all on LinkedIn, so would love to also connect with you there. Anita, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while, girl. And Kyla, thanks so much for putting this together.
Thank you. Absolutely. Any other questions before I let y'all go and get back to your days?
Just a little bit about your net inclusion session.
Yeah.
Too.
Okay.
I was reading your mind.
The net inclusion session is just a showcase. It's just called Voices of Digital Inclusion. So a showcase of art across disciplines. And so I don't know when we have our planning session for the folks that wanted to participate, because I asked if people wanted to actually present during the session with me, like I'll host it and then you present on the stage. So we just trying to figure out like what people want to do, if we want to make this like our first open mic, open site, for May at Net Inclusion, where we, decide a theme and all of the folks who are presenting are presenting along that theme. So we're going to plan that together. I didn't want to, pre-plan that out too far, but we will be having a meeting in April so that we can prepare for that in May.
Okay. I don't know if I
clarify, is it a workshop, that's the really long one, or is it the
session? Yeah, and I hope this isn't one of the 90-minute ones, which I think it will be, because we already have, I think, 7 people who want to actually present during the session. So we still have room, of course, for anyone else who wants to participate. And Victor, if you didn't get that information, I will forward that to you and add you to the list if you're interested in sharing.
Absolutely. Thank you. Both for the presentation and for the planning if you need some help.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Super exciting. Thank you all for being with us today. And you'll hear from me soon. I will, again, send out all the stuff tomorrow morning because I got to run to my next meeting. They were already calling me. So I will see all of y'all soon. And thank you so much. And again, now that you've heard, if you know someone that may be interested, share the love. Let them know that the collaborative community is a place for them too. I will talk with y'all later. Take care. Bye-bye.